They're recording, not recording. Is Craig
Hello.
infringing on our privacy?
What?
Is Craig infringing on our privacy by recording us? Do we condone him recording us?
I mean, we brought him here. So, but it is weird though, because so for people who don't know, Craig is the recording bot we use to record our podcast on Discord. So this bot, whenever I enter Discord, when you when you slide from the left, you can see all the people in your friend list, like everyone who's online or offline and everything. So when I go to Discord and I see all those people, and Craig is right there amongst those people, he's one of them, and it always says he's online, and always says that Craig is listening to you. That's the status it always has. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck, dude? He's always listening to me? Are you shitting me?
He's creepy. Are you being stalked by Craig?
Dude, it's fucking creepy. And on that topic, wait, let's just do the intro first. So yeah, welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Talk Kok Podcast. So yeah, with you here, your regular hosts, TK and Donkey. The Bangla and the
Chinese.
Chinese Bangla, or Chibai for short. But yeah, what?
How is that any shorter?
No, it's like CB, right? It's short for CB, so it's the Chinese Bangla or Chibai, anything. Both are equally valid.
So yeah, I'm a Chibai.
Yeah. Chi Bangla.
Chigla. I'm a Chigla.
Chingla. Fuck.
Chingla.
Bangladesh.
This is racism at its max. Fuck you. Why? I'm insulting myself, TK. I'm a Chigla.
What? It's not even racist though. They actually have a race here in Malaysia, and I'm sure in Singapore as well. They call them Chindians, right? The Chinese and Indian mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that exists. So
I'm
if
a Chingla.
Chindian exists, so yeah, Chingla or Banglanese. I think Banglanese sounds better. It kind
No,
of
you are
sounds
the
like
Bangladesh.
Burmese or something.
You are the Bangladesh. I'm the Chingla.
No, what the fuck?
Yeah, you are the
Why would I
Bangladesh.
be Bangladesh?
I can't remember. Like we were talking about it, but you are the Bangladesh. You are the Banchot. The BC.
Tapuchi.
What the fuck is Tapuchi?
I don't know what the fuck does John Cena say when he's saying sorry in Chinese?
Tapuchi.
Tapuchi. Tony, Tapuchi.
Don't make me go Ajushi on you.
What the fuck? Why are we going all over East Asia now? Fuck.
Ajushi.
Oh, wait. Let's not. Wait. So the topic we were on about Craig listening to us, this fucking bot, always listening. So whenever I go on Discord, it's like Craig is always listening to me, and I'm like, fuck's sake, dude. Like, I have enough problems with TikTok, Facebook, and Google all listening to me, all listening into me, and now I have to deal with this creepy ass Craig, this Craig bot listening to me as well. It's fucking.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a cute bot.
No, it's a fucking creepy ass bear. It's a pedo bear.
Pedo bear, yeah.
How is that cute?
Like that, but pedo bear is not cute.
No,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
pedo. The fuck?
Like pedo bear is a bit creepy. So this is the Western version of pedo bear. Wait, why are you calling him pedo bear when you're not pedophile a pedo anymore?
What?
You are old as fuck. How can he be pedo bear
I
if you're
mean,
old?
no, okay. So let's say if someone else underage downloads him, right? He'll be listening to them as well. Right. Is he makes no exception. He's a fucking
What?
filthy ass degenerate. He'll listen to you no matter if you're 14 or 20, I don't know, yeah, 25 or whatever. So he's like he is a pedo technically.
Well, what if other people download and it's not Craig? It's like randomized and like underage people get married, like a motherly voice that goes, "Hi, I'm Mary. Now recording."
What the I'm pretty sure that most of the people who use like Discord recordings, they use Craig because I searched for like the bots and like Craig was I think the most popular bot for
Most
recording.
most popular bot for recording. Okay. So,
Yeah.
everything on your phone is listening to you, including Google. You're fucked, man, TK. You're fucked.
Wait, not just me. It's not like they're not listening to you, the fuck? Like
Well,
it's not even fucking it's not even a secret anymore. Like it's you can get real life evidence every day. Like I shit you not, I think what was it? Fuck, this happened just yesterday. Right. And I think it happened on TikTok.
hmm,
Shit, I think I searched or I spoke out loud about some drink. Right. It was like some kind of drink called Assam Boy or something. And
hmm.
I go on TikTok just, out of curiosity. I go on TikTok today and I see like a fucking video featuring that exact drink. And I'm like, what the actual fuck? Like, I'm pretty sure I've never looked at stuff like that on TikTok before. And I was fucking yeah, I was like that was fucking evidence. It was like TikTok getting caught red-handed, you know? Like I've never searched on things like that on TikTok. I just spoke it out loud, I think yesterday, or I searched it on Google and I go on TikTok and it's like, boom, here you go.
Well, that
Like,
that
has
didn't work
it
for me.
happened to you before? Like, you go on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, and like something that you I don't know, typed or texted to someone or
Typed,
spoke
yeah.
about just
Typed,
suddenly
yeah. Like
pop up in your feed?
if it's like my search engine from Google, like I search for a particular product, the ads will start showing. Yes, that one like is understandable. But no, in terms of speaking anything, no, none of that really happens. I mean, the whoever is listening to my phone will probably be fucking crazy because either I'm scolding someone on the phone because of my work, or it's all porn. So all they will hear is like, "Ah, yamete hayako, yamete hayako, hayako." So that
No, no,
would be
but
pretty confusing for them to give me like proper results of what I'm looking for. Like, what the fuck does this guy want? Does he want like fucking hardcore Japanese sex or something? But the thing is, I find my own, titles for movies.
I mean, I know you're a degenerate, but that's not the point. Next,
Fuck you.
I don't even I don't even think that actual people are listening to us. I think
Mm,
it's just the engines, like the
yeah.
algorithm itself, like the TikTok algorithm, Google, Facebook, they've all got algorithms, right? And
Yep.
you can find these in the terms of services of these apps.
Mm,
And if you take the time to go through them, like especially in TikTok, I saw the other day in like a video. TikTok's terms and services is like so fucked up if you actually take the time to read and understand what it's actually saying. So when you sign up for TikTok, it literally like says in the terms and services that they will record information about everything on your device, starting
Oh,
from what you text to what you say. They will monitor your microphone, your text patterns, your speech patterns, your text messages, your call records, your location data, and even other devices around you. They will take data from everything.
one of the things that I don't allow the apps to do will be allowing access to my mic and my location. So maybe that's why I don't get stuff like that because I don't allow for microphone access.
No, but you do though, because
No, I don't.
now you're allowing microphone access right now.
I mean for the apps for like TikTok and all. Like for
No, you.
TikTok, right?
But
They
that's
were
the thing.
prompt. They
That's the
have a
thing.
prompt.
Like, yeah, they have a prompt, but the thing on their term service signifies that they don't even need you to use the microphone on their app. They can literally use your microphone on any other app on your phone to
Mm.
store data, to gather data. So
Yeah, that's
even though
fucked up.
you're using Discord now, yep, TikTok is probably taking data right now and storing that information.
Well, yep.
And I don't, and it's in the fucking terms and services. I was fucking shocked when I read that. I didn't read it. I watched a video about this guy reading it and like explaining it. But yeah, it's fucked up and it makes sense. And I don't think it's even actual people listening to you. It's just the
Mm,
fucking algorithms in these apps. It's just all over your phone, and like every app you use, they get and gather data from. Like you don't even have to allow microphone or camera access, but even the things you type on texts,
mm.
they will store that information and data, and they will use that to show you ads and target content towards you and everything.
Mm. Well, yeah, I mean, this it's a double-edged sword. Like considering, I think this whole and it's bound to happen, like stuff like that. This is the only way to boost like convenience. The term convenience, you know.
Yeah, but I know, but convenience is what you're taking for granted now. But what happens when these apps and these companies use this data for something like malicious, something
Yep.
for their own benefit? And this is not like there's no record of this happening. Like, this literally happens so much with Facebook. They keep getting like into legal situations, they keep getting sued, and they keep fighting court battles because they keep like using all these user data for fucked up shit, like rigging the elections and all kind of shit like that.
Well, yeah, and this is not the ball is not in our field to play, you know, in regards to this. This is it's like a whole political movement masked behind social media. I think so in general, like social media has become the next form of religion for power struggle, a tool, the next tool of power struggle for power struggles. So yeah,
Mhm.
like before social media and the whole internet was where it is now. Back then it was
Mhm.
religion. So now that if you notice, like a lot of religion topics on the news have been watered down and it's basically non-existent. Like back then there was this whole period about the Pope and everything, all the scandalous news about religious like news like all over the media. But now I think it has shifted its control over to social media because it's much easier that way. Like social apps giants like Facebook and like TikTok, all this, they hold a lot of power when it comes to stuff like that. So I guess this is where the power shift is going towards too, since the whole technology is improving and everything. They don't really have a need for religion anymore, and the new social media apps and everything are the new ways to brainwash people.
I mean, that's definitely something that happens, but I don't think that's even the goal of these companies. But
Hmm.
like, let's say Facebook, for example, and they've had many scandals and many whistleblowers from their
Hmm.
company, like actually legit coming out and revealing all the data they store, and like for fucked up stuff they use this data, you know, and
Hmm.
that's just Facebook, and
Hmm.
imagine a company like TikTok, right? TikTok is a fucking Chinese company. Like its owners are fucking Chinese company. And in China, all the companies, especially the big fucking companies, are all tied to the government. Right.
Hmm.
Without It's all literally under government control. So if China wants to like wage cyber warfare on some fucking country, or China decides one day to use these cards, these trump cards, to fuck other people up or get their way, they can easily do that. They have fucking information of millions and millions of people worldwide through these apps,
Hmm.
TikTok and WeChat as well. When I saw how many fucking things WeChat use, like WeChat uses your fucking what a phone number, birth certificate, fucking passport information, license, whatever. Like they want, they keep increasing how many things you need to use it, right? So like imagine all this data going to the fucking Chinese government, and they can in the future at some point just decide to use it to wage cyber warfare. Imagine how how completely fucked the world will be. As people, we like us normal people will be completely helpless.
Yep. And this is the kind of stuff that is being masked under all that media news that's been portrayed out that people don't see. It's stuff like that that goes under the radar that people don't really see. So sometimes, like even like for people, for us, like when we suspect as much and everything of this conspiracy and everything, it's gonna be something that is something that we realize and everything. And I don't think like a lot of people will be an activist towards all this because a lot of people know it, and there's nothing much
Yeah.
that us civilians can do to stop it, except for like talk about it and everything because this whole thing holds a lot of power, and in order to stop power, you need power, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is not
But
something that. Hmm?
yeah, like I mean, it's not even a secret anymore. Like everyone basically knows it,
Yep.
and we can't do anything about it. And the reason we can't do anything about it is because no one will fucking admit. No one, none of these companies will admit any of these wrongdoings because they just care about their profit margins, right? And even the government, because the government of every country is basically like run by the big companies, basically. Right. In every capitalist country, the government, the politicians, where do they get all their sponsorships? Where do they get all their money from? They get their money from these huge fucking multinational brands and multinational companies. So, like, the government is in on this, and they're not going to do anything about it. Like, the U.S. government isn't going to do anything about it because they're also keeping tabs and spying on people
Yep.
through Facebook and Google. And the Chinese government won't do anything about it because obviously they're doing it through fucking TikTok, WeChat, and all those apps.
Yep. So it's pretty stupid, and I know, like, I myself, I try not to be too involved with all these apps because, yeah,
But it's literally inescapable, though, right?
what?
In this day and age. I say it's literally unescapable though in this day and age. Like,
Yeah, but the only apps that I use would be like for communication purposes, like WeChat, WhatsApp, stuff like that for work purposes. But if you talk about TikTok and everything, I think there are few factors that why I'm not really attached to it. Like even Facebook, like I'm not really attached to it. The only ones that
Mhm.
I probably have spent more time on will probably be Instagram. But I know Instagram is the same, but
Also
because Instagram,
Facebook.
yeah, I know. So, but the thing is, there's a lot of marketing stuff on it and all the art stuff on it that I can research, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's still for work all in all. So, but personally, I don't really like, I try to stay away from it as much as I can and not be reliant on it because ultimately I find that a physical life is still, what we need to pay attention to. And instead of relying on a lot of on the technology so much. I mean, example, like if you go on a date, you want to be on a date and not be on a date with someone who's on their phone all the time. That kind of
Yeah.
situation. Yeah. So can you imagine like having a family with your husband or wife being on the phone all the time, and the other half is also on the phone all the time? Like it just doesn't make sense to me. I think also because maybe I'm getting a bit older and all these apps don't appeal to me as much as it used to anymore. Or maybe I just wasn't. I've never been a person that's attracted to apps like that in general because
Yeah. I
uh
mean,
yeah.
yeah, I know what you're saying, but what I'm saying is like literally it's unavoidable because you said
It
you
is.
use some apps for your work. That's why you
Yeah.
have to use it for your work, even though you don't want to use it or you're not interested in using the social media apps. Some apps
Mm,
you literally have to use for work now. And
yep.
the thing with Facebook that came out a couple of years ago by this point was that they not only keep tabs, like they not only store data of the people that use Facebook, they can
Mm,
also store data of the people that don't use Facebook. Like, even let's say you don't have a Facebook account, but one
mm,
of your friend has a Facebook account, right? And
mm,
your number is saved on their phone.
mm.
Facebook can literally use that information on their phones, that contact information to get info on you, to get data on you.
Yep. I know. It's actually, yeah, you don't need a lot to get data on someone. Uh, yeah, that's why like I find that it's best to stay under the radar in terms of whatever you're doing. And a lot of people now are blowing up like fame and fortune and everything. That's why it's very easy to bait them into traps like that because people are always chasing for fame and fortune.
Yeah.
So yeah, in exchange for their data and everything. So yeah, stuff like that. I mean, yeah, it's unavoidable. I mean, considering the age of the times that we're in, and I guess this is just generate. Okay, this is like, you know, remember we were talking about animation, Psychopass. Yeah, this was why I like
Yeah.
Psychopass so much because it was an animation based on a concept that can actually happen in the world, and this is actually happening
Yeah.
right under our noses that is not being executed in the media openly. You know.
Yeah, like that gun from Psychopath. What is it? The psychometer?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
To gauge the site,
I-
the sanity level.
yeah, yeah. I think the gun is called something else, but it has
Mm.
like a psychometer on it. So when
Yep,
you
yep,
like point it at someone, it can literally like tell you what their fucking mental condition is based on their past history and records and everything. Like
yep.
we can literally like if someone right now I bet can literally actually invent a gun or some kind of device like that that can just like gather information from the various data sources and data banks of these
Hmm.
different apps and get like a reading of that for a normal person. Like we can already do that. Like that's
Yep.
something that's possible.
You just need to put the parts together to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have all the tools and basically like example something so simple like the thermometer reader. If you can detect the body heat, all they need is something to detect the identity of the person in order to bring up the records. Bringing up the records is not hard anymore because like computer basically brings up records so long they have it stored inside. So basically, you just need to connect those two things together, and voila, you have that psychopath gun.
Yep.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's not far away because there's something called face recognition. So,
yeah.
it-
I mean, in
yeah,
China, don't they use like a social credit system and shit?
yeah,
So, like, they have like traffic cameras on the roads and shit and everything, and all like 24/7, they're facial recognizing and biometric recognizing people. And if their social credit is deemed by the government to be low, they won't get certain benefits, like they won't get loans or they won't uh, be able to buy cars and shit like that. Like,
mm,
it's already a reality in China.
yep. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why that whole psychopath animation, I liked it a lot, but it also scared me a lot because this is definitely that was like a premonition on the artist's vision. And yeah, it's definitely something that can happen, and I hope I don't live up I don't live to the day to see that happening to us, because it's gonna be quite terrifying to have your life monitored under like such situations. And it will cause like Singapore's whole upbringing is already part of the system that psychopaths presented. It's just that we're not as high tech, but the whole living condition and system, right? Uh, it's the same.
Mhm.
Like Singaporeans live up to a certain standard of like obedience, and definitely there are rogues around, but it's just that these rogues are still openly around because there's no controlling system like psychopaths has. So basically, there's a whole good bunch of Singaporeans that were up through the upbringing and conditional status to think like how psychopaths um controlling system works. It's like you live up, you live, and the government will provide you like a good you want to buy a house, there's loans for you and etc. You got to study hard and everything. So a good portion of Singaporeans go towards that path, and that's how the whole psychopath system works as well. It's like it's through control and obedience, and that's how Singapore is controlling their people too. It's a double-edged sword because not everyone wants to have a life of their own, and they just want to feel safe in living their life. So
Yeah.
definitely there are rogues around and everything. So that's why it feels a little bit scary because Singapore is really like halfway, 1 foot into the water, and
Mm.
yeah, all we need is probably like that particular weapon to really bring the whole concept of psychopaths alive. And I think even in Japan has the same kind of concept as well, in terms of upbringing and conditional thinking and everything. So yeah, throughout the
Mm.
whole world, like there are a lot of conditional systems that the country has conditioned them to, that is very similar to the whole concept of that animation.
Yep. The future could be scary, but I mean, yeah, I mean, what I mean, privacy isn't a big thing to like sacrifice if you're, if you can get like fame and fortune, I guess,
Yeah.
by sacrificing your privacy. And we're not like, we as a people, or the powers in power, like the governments in power, will
Mm.
not take any step or any meaningful step towards doing something about it until something huge and irreversible happens that'll change, that'll do a big fucking impact, that when it's too late and people have to like change stuff,
Mm.
probably like that's when all the big changes happen, like World War I, World War II, like all the big wars. Like, until the war fucking happens, shit doesn't change. You have to fucking go through a fucking war and millions have to die, and then at that point people are like, yeah, maybe we should change something and do things a bit different now.
I think this is the contradictive part of humans because the thing is, now we are speaking on the side of the civilians, but if we were to put yourself in the point of power, you can't accommodate everyone like through your management. Like even in a company when you manage like some people or team or whole company, you can't satisfy everyone, you know. And it's a little bit different as in the sense that if you're a president or prime minister, you're running the country, people are there whether they like it or not, you know. So
Mm.
you know, there's no other ways to voice out all this. So I mean, they can't possibly like a US. They have so many citizens, and they can't pacify everyone. And you know how um as time goes by, there's so many people who are so entitled, and they want the world to revolve around them. So on the other hand, on the flip side of this whole situation, if I was put in power, and I don't think I want to accommodate to all this, because like I would address like serious issues, but the thing is, you know, if something drastic happens, like you mentioned, like World War and everything, it not only like puts people in power in their place, but it also puts civilians who are so entitled to think that everything revolves around them to actually have a different set of thinking. And that is when it's like hitting the reset button for both sides of the party, you know. And I
Mhm.
think it's not a bad thing for some. I mean, of course, I'm not wishing for war, but I would wish for something dramatic happen happen so that both sides of the cards, you know, will they will not be so um, they will bow down to a certain extent of understanding and, you know, make things work for both sides and not be so entitled, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to wish for it, really. Like, it is inevitable. Like,
It
that's
is.
human nature, really.
Mm.
Like, it's inevitable that, like, something like that will happen eventually again, and
Yeah.
that will change the course of the
Yeah.
future.
I mean, look at it this way, like when life started, um, everything was very simple. Like in terms of food, basic necessities, like all we needed to do was everyone growing their own stuff and to barter and trade, and we'll be able to live off without any government, you know. And you'll still be fed for life, and you know all you need to do is breed, you know, or to grow your own plants and to have exchange, you know. And that is how simple life is technically.
I
And
mean, it wasn't simple. You still had to, like, in those days, you had to fight for your life, literally every day. Because, like, not only, like, sure, you could grow crops, but you also needed to hunt, and there were
yeah,
wild predators and animals out there. You needed to protect yourself. Like, people
yeah,
need to build a society. And, like, imagine, like, the medical thing, right? Like, back in the day, if people got a cut on their fucking body somewhere, they were probably dead in a few days, right? And people's dental conditions were so bad that they couldn't live uh more than, I think people's lifespans were pretty short back in the day because of the dental health, because people didn't brush. Like, that wasn't a thing back then. So, I mean, all these achievements and all this development and innovation, it definitely pushed the human race forward. But with more innovation and more development comes more problems, basically. Like, the bigger
yeah.
you get, the more problems it
I mean,
it creates, and you have to, like, face those.
in terms of that, like the literation of living it, yeah, I understand that. Uh, as in like what I meant was more like on the concept of life itself. Like things were uh simple in that way. The whole if you strip down everything to the necessity of living now. Like right now we live and we need to think about food. We need to think where to get food. We can't hunt. You know, we can't learn the skill to hunt. So we need to get a job.
Mhm.
And it's yeah, that kind of thing. So basically back then the whole concept of living was meant to be like easier. Like you don't have to pay rent, you know. Like right now we are not only working for food but we are working for rent. But back then when you work for food. And right now majority of everyone works for a lifestyle luxurious lifestyle to live comfortably,
Yeah.
to live for family and everything. So things got a little bit. a lot more complicated as we progressed. And when things get complicated in personal lifestyles, individual lifestyles, things on the other side, the supplying side has to be complicated as well, in terms of prices and everything, all this kind of stuff. But if you boil down the whole concept of living way back then, it's very simple. Like you're hungry, you hunt for food. You need to hunt for food. You need to contribute yourself to part as part of a society. Like how some tribes, men hunt and women do the chores. It's not a misogynistic way, but that is just how life was meant to play according to the genders that were given. Like, you know, you can't expect. I mean, of course, there are female warriors, but that was just how things are because women breed and give birth, and they're more motherly. That's why they take care. And men are meant to be like armored and tank to hunt for food. That's how like tribes run, right? So they're really bringing out the whole nature of humans. They're really pushing it to the extent that pushing what we are capable of doing and what we our roles in life were meant to be. And that was how simple it is. That's why like tribes, like a lot of tribes people, they live a lot longer than us because they're not exposed to such exposure like gamma radiation and all this bullshit. And their mind, the most important thing I think is their mental state. No doubt a lot of these people who are still in the tribes are still like a bad majority of them have like mental health issues, but even way back when we had mental health issues and before technologies and medicines uh, were so advanced, we lived with it and we found ways to cope with it and everything. So has things improve, things get complicated as well. So right now, I
Yeah,
think like yeah, huh?
yeah. I mean, back in the day, back in the day, it was basically just eat, fuck, and sleep, right, and breed. So
Yep.
eat, breed, and sleep. That was the bare necessities. But now, of course, things are more complicated, and that comes with everything else. Because yeah, do you know about Maslow's hierarchy? Maslow's scale of hierarchy.
No, what's that?
So it's like Maslow was a scientist. I don't. He was a scientist, but I don't know in which category he specialized in. I can't remember now. But yeah, we actually studied about this in class. But
Hmm.
the Maslow's needs hierarchy of needs. It's a scale that uh portrays the needs of humans. So it divides it for it's like a pyramid. It goes up, and on the bottom it's like the basic needs, right? Food, sleep, and what, safety. And
Hmm.
then the next
Security.
layer, the next
Hmm.
layer of the pyramid goes
Food.
into sex and shelter
Hmm.
and education. Maybe not education. I think education on the
Knowledge.
next layer. Yeah, on the next layer is knowledge, education, and things like that. And then on the top layer is entertainment, your need for communication,
Hmm.
then your need to self-express and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So it's like a need hierarchy of needs, right? So the more developed humans get, the more complex society gets. Of course, now most of the peoples around the developed world, their basic needs gets met, by their parents and by the government, you know. So after that, people don't have to worry about that anymore. So they have to worry about next level education. Their
Hmm.
parents and government also does that for them. So they have to worry about the next level. So at this point, people are not concerned with those basic needs anymore because they're being met already. They don't have to work for it. They don't have to fucking hunt or do any hard work for them. They're already getting that. So
Hmm.
people are are more focused and only worry about those needs on the like the top shelf, like the needing to express yourself, then standing out from people, trying to be unique, like entertainment, all this shit. This is what people are worried about now, because all their basic needs are being met now. So it's a very comfortable life, but it can get out of control. It can get out of hand because comfort breeds
Security,
comfort. What?
security, and
Yeah,
complacent.
complacency. That's the word. Comfort breeds complacency. So the more
Yeah.
comfortable you are, the more comfortable you are at your position, or the more comfortable you feel and not worry about shit, uh, the more complacent you get. And the more complacent people get, the more society goes into fucking degeneracy and into like more problems that society creates out of that. So, yeah.
Yeah, like speaking about that, I think the current situation is like a lot of people are victims to their own inventions. So it's not like life gave them issues, but it's more like um, these issues were created based on their earlier decisions. And it's a situation that they created and they fall victim to it.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
it's a bit stupid because like everything is being so like the whole okay example like cancel culture. Um, it's going backwards. It doesn't serve the purpose anymore, but it's served to be a voice of people who are whining about every single thing. I'll put it one very what do you call it taboo topic, which is like parents hitting their child. Like when we were young, like our parents fucking smack us around and everything. Like it's not. I don't view that as a form of abuse at all because I find that as a form of discipline. Like but now, like, oh my God, if your parents were to slap you, fucking viral on everywhere, like internet, and fucking abuse, calling abuse, everything, and cancel this parent and all that kind of stuff. It's getting out of hand. It's straight off the point where what is supposed to be. It didn't evolve. It's just straight off. You know what I mean? Like if cancel culture were meant to be to voice out all this, to put off all these people, yeah, it's good. It's definitely good because some people in power are way off their tracks in terms of this. So, but it reached to a point where every single thing, cancel culture, and it's diluted. This whole point of this movement has been diluted so badly. I think
Yeah.
this is a common occurrence in all sorts of movements. Uh, like example, like okay, we bring in the whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard shit. Okay, so naturally, like we both know that um, these two people were toxic together. Both of them had their own toxic traits, and like now, even the recent news, people saying that they funded up the whole unsealed, unpresented like evidence towards the case, and is shedding a bad light on Johnny Depp. And like no doubt, like these two people were toxic towards each other, and it's just a matter of like it's like okay, I quarrel. I'm in a toxic relationship, and I quarrel with my girlfriend, and I talk to you about it, and you're my friend. So this whole point of speaking out is to let people know whose side they're on and everything. But in reality, both are wrong, and there's no point in canceling like any just single one. The I still stand on my point that I dislike Amber Heard because of her own presentation and not because of uh the whole fiasco of what's going on. But I just dislike it because of how she presented herself. I've been saying that since the last podcast. So I think that you know stuff like that, it's being handled in a way that is off the tracks now. Like you're not really
What
helping John.
what what about these unsealed documents? What happened there?
Uh, I think it was like to show like evidence that Johnny really did what Amber Heard proclaimed and stuff like that.
Yeah, but what kind of evidence was it? Like, why wasn't it presented in court
Uh,
then?
this one I don't know. I didn't really read that deeply because I'm quite over it, but I just basically glanced through it to see like what is it about. Like so it's just like evidence that would have made Johnny Depp lose the case, you know, kind of stuff like
I
that.
mean, there are a lot of fucking online news, one online websites or like article makers or bloggers that will, like, yeah, that will make news like that to serve their own agenda. So,
Mm.
and I haven't seen any big place or any of the places I follow talk about this, so I don't know about this one. But
Yeah, it's all over my feed though. So it's like, yeah, I mean, there's all even in YouTube, like people are doing videos on how Johnny Depp has been exposed and everything, like stuff like that. Remember we were talking about it. We were saying that no doubt both of them are toxic and everything. But I think
yeah,
the whole point is to Johnny Depp wanted to expose like it's not that he's denying that he's toxic, but he wants to expose that Amber Heard is not what she is preaching that she is, kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, stuff like that. Like every single thing, like every single small thing has been exaggerated in their point of movement.
Mhm.
Like if I were to slap you because you betrayed me as a friend, okay, if
Mhm.
okay, let's not put it that way. Okay, because I can't speak up for how you feel, but okay, let's say the other way around. You slapped me because I betrayed you as a friend. I wouldn't fucking go
Mhm.
and you know post it out to say that oh, cancel this guy because he slapped me and everything, all that bullshit. But I think I'll receive it in shame because I fucked it up, and I think I deserve a punishment like that. Like why people, a lot of people get away scot free is because of movements like that moved towards a wrong agenda, and a lot of people who
Yeah.
fuck it up and they don't really have to answer for it because of movements like that, and it's
Yeah.
really it goes against the whole point of this whole movement in the first place, and it doesn't make fucking sense because yeah, I mean, like, okay, if a parent, a mom or dad slaps a child because they were out of line, I don't think that's abuse, I think that's discipline. like uh,
Yeah. I mean,
okay,
it can get to abuse at some point, but if it's
yeah,
like, yeah,
I agree that
yeah,
yeah, I agree that it does get out of hand, and that's where this movement is supposed to protect, but not to the extent where when a parent is disciplining their child and they're being called abusers because of that, and then they are allowing the child to get away with all that nonsense that he's not being guided and punished upon. So like example, like okay, we live in a place with people, right? So imagine like your neighbor's kids come over to your place and steal your stuff, making noise in the mid hours, the wee hours of the night, and you can't sleep because you have work tomorrow and all that kind of bullshit, and it affects your life. I mean,
Mhm.
naturally, you know how they're enabling like kids like that to get away with all this because their parents have been pushed away from this set of responsibility of disciplining the child, and people don't see that. They're just looking at the sole isolated action of the parent, but they don't see the whole meaning behind it. I mean,
Yeah,
if I'm out of line, I've been disrespectful to my grandparents. Of course, I deserve something like a slap or like disdain look by my family members. This is all part of the punishment of staying out of line. Yeah.
yeah. But
So
parents these days is just gonna put their fucking kid on the iPad and let them fucking play games
yeah,
or watch YouTube all day long, not give a fucking shit about it.
yeah. But I mean, look at
That's
it on.
where fucking, yeah.
Sorry, sorry, you're saying?
Yeah, when I see some parents like that, this is put their kid, like their little under 10-year-old kid, let them have their fucking own phone or iPad, let them do whatever the fuck they want all day, not monitoring anything, not fucking giving a care about it, whatever they do. Like these kids could be doing God knows what on the fucking internet. Right.
Yep.
And these kids could grow up to be God knows what, learning from the internet. They're not going to grow up with parents. They're going to grow up on the internet, right? And
Yep.
without discipline, without actually learning from the adults that you should look up to, your
Mm.
parents that should be teaching you about morality and ethics and everything. You're gonna grow up on the internet with 1,000 different viewpoints, with 1,000 fucked up people saying whatever, and you're gonna be one of those, and it's gonna yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I see the future heading. All right.
Yep.
And about the cancel culture thing, yeah, the cancel culture now is enabling that kind of shit to happen.
Yep.
Because I think at first it was like it started as a good thing, right? It
Yep.
started
Yep.
with people having good intentions of like voicing out for the underprivileged, voicing out for the people who didn't have a platform, like
Mm.
standing up for the marginalized people, let's
Yep.
say marginalized ethnic group, or marginalized minority in a country, people with disabilities, whatever. They used to voice out on those people, and that's why the cancel culture. I mean, that's how it came into being. It actually was meant for a good thing, to stand up for the little guy, right? But
Yep.
now it's got to a point that, and it happens with humans, it happens with people all the time. They just fucking lose their way, and they just don't. Eventually, they get to a point they don't care about actually stepping up for the little guy. They don't care about actually doing something good for these
Yep.
people. They care about their 5 seconds of fame, or getting a Twitter post or Instagram post or TikTok viral. That's what they care about. They care about the outrage and the clicks they can get from this outrage. You can be something out of context, right? That, like that slapping thing example you gave, like me
Mm.
slapping you because you betrayed me as a friend. Someone
Mm.
can just fucking post that slap, like record
Mm.
that and post it out of context, and like try to
Yep.
cancel you. Like
Yep.
that's what people try to do now.
Yep. And that's very despicable because, like, maybe this is why the modern society has, a lot of people don't have loyalty and respect anymore. Like, if you realize, like, maybe people slightly younger than you, or maybe even people around your age, you see a lot of people who doesn't have loyalty or respect anymore. Like, these two terms does not um regulate around their lives anymore. Like, I'm not a fan of, I'm not a supporter of abusers, of course, definitely. Like, but I've always been a person. Okay, this is something a little bit about myself. Okay, I've been always a person who is a little bit quiet in real life, and I don't like unnecessary scenes. But if like when I was in the army, there was this guy who is like generally one of the smaller guys, who's always been picked on by this sergeant. Uh, so there was this one time that this sergeant was trying to pick on him, and I was looking at it, and I felt that enough was enough. So I approached the sergeant and asked him, like, what the hell is his problem? Pick someone his own size. Stop picking on him. This guy just wants to do his stuff. He's a quiet and a nice guy. Don't fucking pick on him, man. So I've always been a person like that. Like, yeah, I understand that bullying or something like that has always been around, and uh, it's unavoidable sometimes. But sometimes if we can suck it up, we'll suck it up. But the thing is, if it gets out of hand, I most likely wouldn't just sit down and just look at it happening. And especially if that person, that guy who's being bullied is someone nice and good, like genuinely a nice guy, genuinely like a nice person. So
Mhm.
I think that sometimes, like, physical actions has to be taken towards bullies like that. You can't, like, the fucked up thing about modern movements is, in situations like that, the one like a good 50% of the people who is looking at the situation will be supporting the bully, saying that, if I were to hit the bully, he's being abused. He's the victim. This is the
Yeah.
fucked up thing about this whole
Yeah.
movement. Yeah, but I honestly believe that some people needs to be put in their place through physical damages or punishment, because not everybody will listen to you when you talk to them nicely. And considering the fact that loyalty and respect does not really exist anymore in this modern society, it's hard to bring up conversations or even talk to people like an adult, or even logically, because to them all they care about is their undisciplined emotional expression. So it's pretty
Yeah.
bullshit where this whole thing is heading. And yeah, like I said, I'm not a supporter of like abuse, but the thing is, you know just because you're being hit doesn't mean that it's abuse. Abuse is when you're being hit unnecessarily, and what do you call that?
Like, can't do
Uh,
so. Like, you clearly can't do anything about it. Like, if it's like a bigger guy, like actually bullying you and hitting you and stuff, and like you can't do anything about it. Like at that point, it's abuse, right?
yeah, I
Like
mean,
when you
yeah,
can't
there's
stand
no
up for
meaning.
yourself.
There's no meaning towards it. Yeah, when there's no meaning towards that action, then I would believe that's abuse, and that I agree in that. Like, that is abuse. But if I'm slapping my child just because I'm teaching this child, like, enough is enough. This is not how you should behave. Like, people will churn up like fucking millions of excuses why the child is like that and why I'm doing it wrong. Like, what if the child has mental health issues and etc. Blah 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 blah. Come on, man. Like, that. Don't give excuses to bullshit behaviors. These movements are allowing kids nowadays to have excuses for all their fucking bullshit behaviors and their shitty ways of treating people. And
Yeah, I
it's
mean
fucking bullshit.
everything in regulation, right? You need
Yep.
you need some kind of regulation for everything. Like if back in the day, like some parents were like actually abusing, physically abusing their children, and it did happen. It happened a lot. Like parents would end up physically abusing their kids a lot, and sure, that does mentally scar them. But
Yep.
if you don't do like anything, you're not allowed to do anything physical, and even at this point you're not even allowed to yell at them, because that's also like
Abuse.
mentally scarring them or whatever. Yeah, so if you're not doing any of that and you're doing like the parents example I gave earlier, when they just leave their kid to do whatever the fuck they want on the internet or whatever, are
Mm.
you saying they're not going to grow up with mental health issues, or like
Exactly.
they're not going to grow up with fucked up personalities and problems? Like, of course they will. It's gonna be
Yep.
a whole different set of problems, which it will be
Yep.
equally fucked up, if not more. So, I mean, everything is needed in moderation. Like, you still have to discipline. You still need to be able to discipline your kid. Like, you have to like tell them nicely first, and then like tell them strictly, and then you yell at them, and then you have to like slap them and put them in their place, like discipline them if nothing else works, right? But if you
Yep.
don't do anything, they're gonna grow up to be like even worse.
Yep. It's like, okay, animals, basically. Okay, example, like animals, like predators in the wild. Uh, they learn through their hunting, right? And
Yeah.
that's how they find their prey. They don't go to they don't find out what animals are their prey by talking to the fucking prey. Like, hey, hello
Mhm.
sheep, are you a prey? Can I eat you? No, they fucking go and bite it and see how bad they get badly hurt in order to learn a lesson that don't fuck with these animals. Like like an
Mhm.
example, like maybe like a cheetah eating a porcupine. Then he's never
Yeah.
gonna fucking eat a porcupine after he's been pierced in the mouth. Correct? So this is a lesson that they learn themselves. How? Through how? Pain. They know through the receptors that they're born with, the pain receptors, that this fucker can't be eaten. or if they eat something bad and they have like diarrhea, it's through pain or through something physical that talks to them in their own language. And sometimes some of these people, the language for them to learn is through physical and not verbal. Like you have no idea. Like if we all of us can talk, um, can talk to people and solving issues by talking, right? There will not be any bad people on this earth anymore. You can fucking talk to a secret. There will no fucking serial killers because a serial killer comes up to you and you'll be like, oh please spare me because I have I have a kid and everything. And the fucking killer goes like, oh okay, I'll leave this house now. I'll go find another victim who doesn't talk to me. What? No, this is basically, I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch of an example, but you see where the whole point is, right? Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you gotta have like self-defense, or you gotta have like proper um etiquette action towards situations, as not, not not everyone's mouth or ears are meant for talking. Some people's mouth is meant just for blowjobbing, and that's all they can do. Yeah.
The fuck? What kind of example is that? Are we talking about like deaf, like mute people?
No, no, fuck no. I'm not talking about that. Fuck you. Well, I mean, that made more sense than it should have been, but
Like
fucking hell.
your mouth clearly cannot speak. You only blowjob.
Fuck. That's fucked up, man. But that made more sense in a fucked up way than to my statement than it should have. Fuck me. No, I'm not talking about that. Like, I'm talking about like how some fucked up. Okay, like because we're guys, okay, so we can only use girls as an example because we like girls. So like some girls, like my ex, who fucking cheated on me. I tried talking to her so many times. I talked to her like saying that, hey, come on, man, I'm really committing myself to this relationship. I really love you. You've cheated one time and fine, and I know I'll look past it because of your, whatever has happened in the past. I'll try to look at it in a different light. But that didn't work. She still fucking cheated on me. Right? So
Okay.
that
Yeah.
yeah. So it doesn't, not everyone is meant to have verbal understanding of what's happening. And some of them, like maybe like some gangsters or everything, they only understand through physical fights that this person is not to be fucked with, or where the other person, like, that's why they always have this quote like men talk with their fist. It's because of reasons like that. And it's, I will not tread along, talk about that because they have their own mindset and it's a whole different culture from this whole culture that we're talking about. But
Yeah.
I'm just extracting the point of the whole action that I'm talking about, and that I'm not supporting abusive behaviors or what, but this is what I'm talking about. Like everyone has their own language of to learn, and you can't force an English kid to excel in school when the whole school only speaks Bangladesh kind of situation. You know what I mean? And the thing is, the school doesn't teach Bangladesh language, but they speak in Bangladesh. So what the fuck is that English kid gonna learn from that shit?
I'm pretty
So
sure no school in the world teaches Bangladesh because it's called Bangla.
Bangla.
That's the language.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Mr. Banchot. Bangla. Bangla. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, guys, for
Okay.
whoever's listening. I meant to say the
Yeah,
school
yeah.
that
You should
only teaches
apologize.
Bangla
You
language.
should
Oh,
you should
I've been
apologize. You should apologize like John Cena. You should eat a fucking ching bing or whatever it's called.
big
Chilling
healing.
bing chilling. But instead you should be eating fuck, what the fuck should you be eating? Should be eating a rashogolla and fucking saying like, "Oh, I'm in coma chai."
Wait, how am I supposed to say it in Bangladesh? Like, I'm so
Um,
sorry, I'm eating some food.
so like rashogolla is like it's like
Rashabola.
Rasgulla. It's like a Bangladeshi kind of
Rasgulla.
uh yeah, it's like a dessert type of shit. It's like very
Rasgulla.
sweet. Yeah, like small fucking balls that you put in your mouth, and it's very it bursts into like it's very juicy and stuff. Basically, it's coated
Oh.
in like sugar syrup and stuff. It's very sweet. It's very nice if you like sweet
So
stuff, you know?
so it's basically just a sugared ball.
Yeah. But it's quite nice. Like there are like it's not just sugar, there are milk ones as well. Like milk and
Uh,
sugar. I like those ones more. But
okay, so how do I say that I'm eating Rasgulla and I apologize in Bangladesh? Bangla. Sorry, Bangla.
so I'm sorry would be like Ami Koma Chai. Ami
Me,
Koma Chai. It would be like,
Koma,
yeah, please forgive me.
chai. Okay, and then I am eating Rasgulla. How do I say that?
Is that what he says in Chinese? Like I'm eating Bing Chiling
Oh yeah,
and
he's like, well, he's saying that he's eating an ice cream and he really likes ice cream.
okay, so you can say like uh Ami Roshogulla Khachi.
Wait, Ami?
Ami Roshogulla
Uh-huh.
Khachi.
Ka,
Khachi
Kachi.
means eating. Yeah.
Ka, ka, is there a K at the end of the ka or it's just ka?
Khachi. No, it's not an okay.
Ka, kachi, ah. Kachi. Okay. Okay.
Fuck man, my fucking Bangla friends are gonna fucking love this. They're gonna laugh their asses up when they hear this episode.
Kachi?
Not kachi, it's like ka. It's like
Uh,
KH.
oh,
Yeah.
kachi. Okay. Kachi.
Kachi,
Kachi.
but it's like double CH. Kachi.
Oh, kachi. Okay. Kachi. This is turning German. Okay, so kachi, then what else?
Yeah, just say that like Ami
Okay,
Rosho
wait.
Malai Kachi. Oh.
Okay, I need to say I'm sorry, so Ami komachai.
Yeah.
Ami rasagula kachi. Was that right?
Yep.
I'm gonna say this to my
Say,
Bangla friends
say,
too.
say it like fucking John Cena said it, like repeat it.
Ami komachai. Okay. Army komachai. Ami rasagula kachi.
Oh my fucking god. Yep, that'll do it. Yes, it's up to the Bangla people now to forgive you. You should literally fucking make that fucking like John Cena like Twitter video. You should make a fucking video like that eating the Rasgulla and like Ami komachai, Ami Rasgulla khachi. Oh.
How does it? I love rasagula a lot.
আমি রসগোল্লা ভালোবাসি।
Wait,
ভালোবাসি,
wait, wait. Asha, Ami rasagula.
ভালোবাসি।
Halo,
ভা ভালো।
balo.
It's like BH.
Bahalo.
But you don't say bahalo, you just pronounce the B, like you emphasize the B, like bhalo.
Bal, balo. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah,
Bhalo. Balo. Okay,
yeah. Bashi.
Balo. Bashi.
Yep.
Okay. Wait, how do I say good evening?
What the fuck? Are we fucking doing a Bangla lesson right now?
Yes, how do you say good evening?
Just say good evening. I don't think
Oh, okay.
it makes it even funnier.
Okay. Uh, Good evening, my Bangladeshi friends. আমি chai, আমি রসগোল্লা খাচ্ছি, আমি রসগোল্লা ভালোবাসি, বাসি বাসি, বাসি ভালো রসগোল্লা.
What the fuck, dude?
Yes. Okay, আমি chai.
Holy shit. Okay.
What's that? Was that good?
Yes, that was that was oh fuck.
Okay. Looks like it's a good time to end too.
Yep, I think yeah, I mean I'm honestly speechless after that, so I can't even
Why?
talk about anything else.
আমি
'Cause আমি ভালোবাসি, আমি রসগোল্লা খাচ্ছি.
আমি রসগোল্লা খাচ্ছি.
Fucking hell. Okay. I think that's a great place to end there. We end on a lighter note after talking about a lot of serious shit this episode.
Yeah,
But
how did we
yeah,
go from that to like fucking Bangla balls?
no, because you fucking offended the Banglas by
Oh,
which
fuck
I
you!
mean
Why
me.
am I always offending the Banglas in every episode? Fuck you!
No, you just now you know what to say whenever you do it, so it's fine.
Oh,
Yeah,
আমি
every time you
chai.
just do it, yeah, you just say sorry.
chai, আমি রসগোল্লা খাচ্ছি, আমি রসগোল্লা ভালোবাসি. Okay.
Yeah.
Sedap.
All right, so I think on that note, on that bombshell, we're gonna end this episode. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's topic, even though
Yep.
most of it was serious. But yeah, hopefully
Fresh
you guys
from oven.
enjoyed as always.
It's gonna be uploaded
Yeah.
in like 5 minutes time or something. So this is totally fresh from our assholes.
Oh fuck, yeah, I have to upload it now. I forgot. Okay, wrap it up. Okay.
Okay,
So
bye.
yeah, thank you again. See you guys
Let's go, let's go,
next
let's go.
week.